It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2-3-4 for the final time.
Win number 1 on the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
After the NOFSRL Cup Series took its week off for Easter, we are back and ready to bang under the lights here around the shortest track on the circuit. We are here at the Martinsville Speedway in Ridgeway, Virginia. This is the STP Old Dominion 500 on a Friday night in Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series, presented by Hertz. Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 8 in Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series. We are here at the Martinsville Speedway for 100 laps around this 0.526 mile speedway, and it is the shortest track on the circuit, and it's going to be a very unique and interesting race. Passing can be a little bit difficult here, but early on, these guys can make moves, and tire wear can definitely come into effect on how well these guys can pass later on into a run. Last year, this race only saw 2 cautions. Don't know how many we're going to see here tonight, if any, but it's going to be a very interesting and unique event nonetheless. Joined alongside Josh Williamson and Brendan Wilmington for the call of tonight's event. And Josh, you guys have been doing an excellent job this season with Keegan Thompson, but Keegan, starting that midway through the field, for those guys who start deep in the field, what do they need to do to work their way to the front and have a shot at winning this race here tonight at Martinsville?
Well, with this being under the lights, it's going to be very hard for them to stick on that inside, or we might see them slide up a bit. So they're going to want to be smooth going off into the corners, because we've seen under the lights here at Martinsville, they will drive it in deep, and that is going to provide some opportunities for people to do overtakes. So you're going to want to look out for that. You're also going to want to look out for any trouble that goes on. So I think staying in the back, you have more time to slow up in case an accident happens. So I think that might be a benefit too. But I think most of the ground is going to be gained on pit road when the pit cycle happens, about a little past halfway through the race. So I think really, ideally, it's just going to come down to pit stops more than anything.
It definitely could. And of course, the fuel window here is about 62 to 65 laps, around that range. If we stay green the whole way through, that's when you can expect those pit stops to happen. And Brennan, Josh mentioned how this race could have an incident and these guys need to slow up for it. I think we know that very well from another prior attempt at recording this race, but you know, engine failures could be an issue in this event, and it's a very tough place to avoid an accident. So what do you need to do if you're the race leader to avoid a possible incident in this race?
Well, really, you just got to make sure you slow up in time, because even if an accident happens behind you, the track is so short that you're going to come up on it real soon. So just trying to avoid the guys in front of you and not run into the back of them is ideal, if that ends up being something that happens in this race.
We'll definitely have to see how it all goes down. It's a tough track, but hey, that's why we're doing it under the lights. Put it in prime time here on AG Racing on this Friday night. This starting lineup in the points coming into this, the 8th race of the season. Keegan Thompson, your points leader, 239 points towards the championship. LJ Cimento, another sophomore driver, 18 points behind. Both drivers have been doing an excellent job this season. Nelson Reeves is 32 points behind. Tristan Allen, 35 points behind. And Sebastian Cucalon, 41 points behind coming into tonight's event. Still a little ways to go until we set the 12-driver chase, however. But guys like Thompson and Cimento have been up there pretty much this entire season. They may run the table throughout this entire regular season. Starting on the pole, if you saw qualifying last night, Jordan Lopez in the number 28 grabbed the fastest time in qualifying in the last minute of the session. So it looks like he has a long-run car in that number 28 machine for American Motorsports. Alongside him, number 53 of Thomas Troxel for Body Armor, or should I say Bartow Tuck Team Velocitar, their Body Armor Team Velocitar in the Turkey Hill National Series. Last year's winner of this event, Fisher G, starting alongside sophomore driver Ryan Durrani. Nicholas Amadeo, he won here in the Truck Series in October alongside the Truck Series champion Joe Rutkowski in row number 3. Gatlin Downey to the inside of Nathan Baird in row number 4. And then the Season 7 winner here at Martinsville, Nathan Stapleton to the inside of Ben Young there. That's the top 10 starting positions here from the Martinsville Speedway. Make sure all these guys roll off. Josh and then Brennan, who do you guys think is going to go to victory lane here tonight in the STP Old Dominion 500?
I think we got to rate Mr. Edge as a factor there in the 48, starting in the 5th position. He's been known for making late race passes to get to the lead. I could see him doing the very same thing here at Martinsville.
I was going to pick San Mateo too, but I guess I'm going to go with his teammate right in front of him, Fisher G, for this race. Won this race before, and I really think that he can win this race again.
We're going to have to see what he can do there. Seidel Motorsports looking really strong. Andrew Miller starting in the 11th position. They may come up with a lot of points in the Owners' Championship. But Jordan Lopez wants his first ever Cup Series win. We'll have to see what he can do as we're green flag here in Martinsville on a Friday night. And lap 1 on the outside lane. Thomas Troxel going to get the advantage on Jordan Lopez and lead the first lap. Bonus point towards the championship for him right there. Jordan Lopez going to file in the second. Fisher G in a battle for 4th between Sam Medeo and Ryan Durrani. Thomas Troxel continuing to hold on to this race lead. Jordan Lopez there in second. Fisher G. Nicholas Ambadio has cleared Durrani for that 4th position. Now you got Gatlin Downey clearing Joe Rutkowski. Inside lane seems to be strong at the moment. Stapleton out of the inside of his teammate there for the 7th position.
I am a little surprised there that the outside lane on the front row was able to get such a good start there as Troxel able to get to the lead here early on by half a second over pole sitter Jordan Lopez. I wouldn't count that 28 out just yet. He might be able to chase it back down as Stapleton getting underneath the 40 of Gatlin Downey to gain another position there. I believe he is up to 6th place now.
Yes, he is. Good run for the Season 7 winner. That's still Stapleton's only NOFSRL Cup Series race victory all the way back in 2018. Of course, with this being the last season of the series, Stapleton's definitely a guy who wants to go to victory lane before the season closes out. Jordan Lopez closing in on Thomas Troxel for this race lead. I mentioned, he got that really good run in qualifying in the last minute. Definitely expect Jordan Lopez to have a good long run car, and Troxel going a little bit wide there. Lopez may be battling for this race lead here very soon.
Yes, he may be. He is right on the back bumper of Thomas Troxel. Noticing Troxel's a little bit higher up in the corner than Lopez is, but he gets a good run off the corner to prevent Lopez from getting to the inside of him. But I don't know how much longer that's going to work because Lopez is breathing down his neck right now.
Of course, Jordan Lopez, I mentioned at the top of the show, he's never won before in this series. He ran in Season 6 of the NOFSRL Cup Series, and this is his 2nd season, and he didn't win in Season 6 and is yet to win this season. It's been a bit of a tough season for American Motorsports overall, but Jordan Lopez with a good opportunity here tonight. He seems to have a very strong car in an absolute fencing Ford Mustang. Can't say some things sometimes. Rutkowski's gotten around Gatlin Downey. That is for the 7th position. Downey filing into 8th. Andrew Miller, all 3 of the Seidel Motorsports guys inside the top 10, and then Nathan Baird rounding out the top 10 in the 54 machine. Trying to remember, I think Nathan is either Nathan Baird or Nathan Faden. It was one of the Nathans who won here when we had the Hers Dash Series here last year. It may have been Nathan Baird who went to victory lane in that one. Will Parrish, we've mentioned Will Parrish in qualifying. He has had an incredible season as a hot seat driver in the Cup Series. This is his 3rd straight Cup Series race, and so far he's finished top 10 in both of his starts. Currently just outside the top 10 here in Martinsville, but it's a long night here around the paperclip. You could have a good opportunity at possibly getting another top 10. Brandon Nelson and Ben Young just outside the top 10. Sebastian Kukulon and Shane Lake round out the top 15. There's your last winner here, Jalorvin Alonso in the 39 machine. Just inside the top 20 as he gets to the inside of our points leader, Keegan Thompson. And move through the rest of the field. A lot of guys in the back here who aren't having the best of runs. Didn't get good runs in qualifying, and they essentially get stuck there when they qualify that deep in the field. Atlanta winner Ace Garcia back in here. He really went wide there through that corner.
Whoa.
Tristan Allen, who's third in points, I believe, or fourth in points, I should say. He's deep in the field. And at the back of the field, they got Nathan Smith and Matt Daly. Matt Daly won at Phoenix. Not looking too hot for him in the 75. As for the race lead, here comes Jordan Lopez to the inside of Thomas Troxel. He's getting into the 53, and Troxel's going to tap the outside wall.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. He's not going to be too happy with him. And around goes Troxel. He just got taken out by Fisher G.
You have got to be kidding me.
Caution out for the first time here tonight in the STP Old Dominion 500. They're going to race back to the line. Thankfully, Troxel kept on going there, and nobody ran into him, but he is not going to be happy at all with Jordan Lopez or Fisher G. They both got into him there. I think Lopez is a little less egregious. I think the 28, I don't know. This is a little too edgy for both of those guys right there. Oh, we got some strategy going on here. Like I mentioned, the fuel window here is about 62 to 65 laps. Fisher G is coming down here. So is Gatlin Downey Joe Rutkowski. Troxel kind of has to come down. He's got a lot of damage after that incident right there. Man, it went from really good to really bad for Thomas Troxel in that exchange. So these guys here who are coming down now are going to have about a 15-lap advantage. They're going to be able to stay on the racetrack about 15 laps longer than everybody else once the cycle of pit stops, the official cycle, which will, if we stay green up until that point, will happen or still around lap 65. But those guys, they don't have to come back down again probably till lap 80. And if enough cautions come out in this race, they may be able to stretch it the whole way through. But a very interesting strategy call out of a few of those guys right there. They got to wait and make sure everyone passes them on the racetrack so they don't merge on with everybody else. Gatlin Downey, Thomas Troxel, Joe Rutkowski, Shane Lake all in there. Not entirely sure where Fisher G ended up in the number 7. He actually is going to be midway through the field there. Going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out in the fuel strategy. Now you got Jordan Lopez leading this race. Actually, Fisher G, because of the pit lane being much shorter, I should say, than the actual racetrack. He actually led a lap right there. But Jordan Lopez is your race leader with Nicholas Samadeo, Ryan Durrani, Nathan Stapleton, and Andrew Miller, the top 5. Let's go ahead and see what happened to Thomas Troxel. They get to the restart here in the STP Old Dominion 500 at Martinsville. Well, we're going to see right here, Jordan Lopez, he sent it on Thomas Troxel. And you see the contact right there. Getting into the quarter panel of the 53, and Lopez really sent it into the corner right there, no doubt about it. He pushed Troxel outside of the groove there, and Troxel ended up slamming the outside wall right there. We'll speed it up a little bit and then slow it down again. Fisher G's coming in. He's got all this momentum from Troxel slowing down. And I think that's a racing incident right there between Fisher G and Troxel. Troxel, kind of cut down on Fisher G a little bit, but Fisher G did kind of come up a little bit. He also forced it in the corner. I don't know. There's gonna be a conversation between Troxel and Lopez at the end of this race. But Lopez is still the race leader. He's still on the good side of it. Troxel's a lap down. Actually, he's not a lap down, but he's at the back of the field now after he came in the pit lane with the rest of those guys. Going to be interesting to see how that all goes on the restart. We'll go ahead and replay that one more time in real time.
All right, so here we go off into turn 3. Lopez getting to the inside. He does the old boot scoop boogie, but a little too much there as Troxel goes into the outside, and G coming along behind, just bam, right there into the back of Troxel, sends him up into the wall, and just a terrible luck start that Bartow-Tuck Team Velocistar has had here in the NOFSRL Cup Series in 2021. It's continuing here under the lights at Martinsville.
Yeah, that's the way Martinsville is. It's just short track racing. Jordan Lopez, your race leader here at the paperclip. We'll have to see what he does on the restart. Keep in mind, Fisher G came down the pit lane here. Keep that in mind as we get later on in this race here in Martinsville. But Lopez, your race leader. Let's see what he does on the restart here in the STP Old Dominion 500. Back here at the Martinsville Speedway on this Friday night. You guys are enjoying this one, and of course, first race since we made the big announcement last week. This would be the last season, so And then these guys are going to be extra aggressive for these race victories until the end of the year in November. Jordan Lopez was extra aggressive on Thomas Troxel, and it awarded him the race lead, but he's got Nicholas Samadeo breathing down his neck in the 48. Ryan Durrani, Nathan Stapleton, Andrew Miller, Brandon Nelson, Will Parrish inside the top 10 again. Nathan Barrett, Ben Young, and Sebastian Kukulon, the top 10. Everybody is still on the lead lap, including those guys who came down the pit lane along with Thomas Troxel there. The 53 is now down to 36. Restart, and Samadeo wide off the corner there. That's good news for Jordan Lopez, as Durrani's going to try to make a move on Mr. Edge.
Boy, Stapleton almost got down there too, didn't he? They almost came off that second corner 3 wide. Durrani's not done with that 48 just yet. They're going to be side by side, potentially headed off into one. No, the 68's going to pull back in line behind Samadeo, as behind Brandon Nelson's going to make a move on Andrew Miller, who slides up the racetrack, and uncharted driver Will Parrish right in behind him coming off that second corner.
Oh, and Will Parrish is going to put the bumper to Andrew Miller, as Ryan Durrani continues to pressure Nicholas Samadeo. Miller may have had a run on Brandon Nelson. He's going to really dive it in there deep, but he's not going to be able to get a run on him right there. But the fact that Samadeo went wide on the restart, that allowed Lopez to pull away at least a little bit, but Samadeo is closing back in here on this number 28 machine.
Yep, he's slowly reeling him back in as Tristan Allen's in the pits for some reason.
Yeah, problem on the 95. It's been a tough weekend for Tristan Allen. And Mason Brown also down the pit lane as well. So that's going to be a couple guys who go a lap down here in this race. Well, watch out here. We got some double wide action as Mason Brown's merging back on through the field. And for the lead, Nicholas Samadeo's close back up to the back bumper of Jordan Lopez, and Mr. Edge may actually get to the inside right here.
Yeah, he's going to have a little bit of edge on the inside coming off of turn number 2, but not enough as Lopez is able to pull back ahead on that outside. Headed into turn 3, though. Samadeo going to try to give him the boot scoot boogie out of turn 4, down side by side down the front straightaway. It's Samadeo with the huge dive on the inside of turn 1, and don't look now. That's 68, Ryan Durrani. He might make this a 3-car battle here.
Especially if these guys stay side by side. Samadeo has the advantage on this inside, but Lopez is working an outside lane to his advantage. But Nicholas Samadeo going to lead at the quarterway mark of the STP Old Dominion 500. Durrani trying to close in. Brandon Nelson going to move to the inside of Nathan Stapleton there. That is for the 4th position. Nelson had a very good run at Rockingham last time out, as Lopez moves up on Samadeo, and they're side by side again for the race lead.
Making contact down the straightaway as Lopez pulls the crossover on Samadeo, and he's going to have the advantage now, and Durrani is also in this battle as well. And Nicholas Samadeo can't get that outside lane working. He's going to have even more problems to worry about, as they're both kind of sliding up the track.
And Brandon Nelson slid up into Nathan Stapleton. Watch out for Andrew Miller to possibly move into that battle. And again, Samadeo with a crossover on Lopez. These guys, they're race leaders. They shoot into the corner way too much. They slide up. Man. But Lopez may get the advantage on the outside. I don't know. Samadeo's going to continue to battle here for the race lead. And this battle is far from over for the race lead here in Martinsville.
Yeah, Samadeo's going to get a big dive going into turn 1. And this is good stuff here at Martinsville under the lights. Samadeo gets back to the lead underneath Lopez. We'll see if he can get the dive on the outside, headed into 3. Durrani, he's going to take the dive. They both went wide in turn 3 and 4. Durrani's going to get to the inside of the 28. Samadeo will finally clear Jordan Lopez.
And now you got Brandon Nelson coming into this. All that battling for the race lead has allowed 4th place, 5th place, 6th place to close right back in. Top 4 guys, all with an 8 in their number. And that doesn't mean anything, but just found that a little interesting. Nicholas Samadeo, though, he may finally have it here on Jordan Lopez, but he's got to be careful not to overshoot again, or that'll open the door for Lopez to get back to the inside. Ryan Durrani there, going to run in 3rd. He didn't actually gain any positions from all that. He tried to get on Lopez, but couldn't do it. Brandon Nelson now within a second of these guys, and Nathan Stapleton close as well in the 97. Thomas Troxel at the back of the field with the damage he has from that incident down the 40th, and you got the North State guys at the back of the field as well. Tristan Allen, I think, has fresh tires, starting to cut through the field a little bit as he is a lap down, at least 1 lap down in the 95 machine. But if this thing stays green long enough, Nicholas Samadeo, Jordan Lopez, and these guys, they're going to close into the back of the field, and we're going to start running in the lap traffic here at Martinsville.
Yeah, lap traffic's definitely going to factor in this. Equal ratings here, so the lap cars are going to be just as fast as the leaders. So Getting a lap car between you and second place, if you're the leader, is crucial because it's going to be that much harder for them to get by you because then they got to pass 2 cars that are just as fast as they are.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when we get to the lap cars. And also at that point, too, the tire wear definitely comes into effect as well. So you saw all that battling for the race lead right there. But once the tire really starts to kick in, it's hard for those guys to continue battling on like that. So we'll have to see how that all affects these guys later on. Fisher G was second when the caution came out. He's currently 18th right now, but he can go a little bit longer on fuel. Everybody else had to wait on the pit lane. Joe Rakowski is one of those guys. Shane Lake, another one of them. They have not really moved up to the field that well at all. So I just don't know. We'll have to see as this race goes along. If this thing stays green and we have a green flag cycle of pit stops, if that'll affect them. Lopez really wide there off of turn number 2, but Durrani's fallen back a little bit, and Brandon Nelson may have a shot on him for 3rd.
Yeah, he very well might. It looked like Brandon Nelson was getting a little busy there with Durrani almost through turn 3 and 4, but Durrani will stay ahead. Andrew Miller now getting right pressed against the backside of Nathan Stapleton, Season 7 winner here at Martinsville. He's about to have his hands full there in the 5th position with that Advanced Auto Parts Chevy.
Gonna have to see Stapleton wide again. Miller taking advantage of that, no doubt about it, but tire wear definitely starting to come into play. He really dives it in there that time.
Oh, man.
Miller hasn't won in over a year in this series, and his teammates leading right now, Nicholas Samadillo. I know he definitely wants to go back to victory lane in this final season. A couple guys, and Brock Nelson coming down the pit lane. He was, at the time, 12th, and I don't know if this is a strategy call or not, but Brock Nelson is in the window to make it to the end of the race. I'm wondering if this is a strategy call out of this team in Angel Racing. They may have an issue, though. We're going to have to see how that affects them, but they're going to be multiple laps down once they're done with their pit stop, no doubt about it. I was about to mention, and we just went into the wall. Our last winner there, Herjo Larvin Alonso, currently up to 12th, but he's going to lose another position here to Ben Crouch in the 76.
Oh!
You really got into him there entering the corner. And Alonso has some damage. He really went wide there, and I'm wondering if Brock Nelson kind of threw him off there, and that may be why he accumulated his damage, but very interesting situation there with Brock Nelson. That can definitely get interesting once we get to the end of the race, and this is going to get interesting here. Thomas Troxel's in sight of Nicholas Samadillo, our race leader, and that's actually closing these guys back into him. Jordan Lopez is still right there, quarter of the second behind for the race lead.
And you know what I said earlier about the cars being just as fast as the leaders, but with that damage, I don't think Thomas Troxel's going to be much faster than them, but it'll be interesting, especially when they catch up to the North State Racing cars up there, the 66 and 67, because they are definitely on pace, and this is when things are going to really start heating up as they're going side by side now. But yeah,
I will say, it's going to be interesting. I can't imagine Troxel's too happy with Jordan Lopez. And of course, this is a video game, and obviously, that kind of retaliation, I don't expect it to happen. I don't think the game's smart enough to do that, but hey, if this was real life, if I were Jordan Lopez, I'd be very careful around that 53. That's all I got to say. Lopez may get around Samadillo here. They're battling back in there. The two North State guys, Nathan Smith and LJ Cimento. Not a good run for Cimento as he comes in second in points. The points leader, Keegan Thompson, is currently 16th. That's a good run for Thompson considering he started around that position. Hasn't fallen off in this race, so... But the damage on Troxel, I definitely think, is affecting him a little bit right here. And Samadillo trying to close in, possibly get around him. He would love to put a lap car in between him and Jordan Lopez here in this race. We're not quite halfway yet here at Martinsville in this STP Old Dominion 500. It's been a doozy of a race so far. A great one here around the paperclip.
I still find it interesting that one driver came down on the pit road, Brock Nelson. I don't know how that's going to work out for him because I can imagine that everyone else is going to stay out.
I will say that could have been because he had a tire issue. You have Christopher Alfie's done the same thing as well. Same with Mason Brown. The thing is, though, they won't have to come, at least for Brock Nelson, he will not have to come back down again in this race. He's good to go to the end. So if it stays green, that could play into his favor. It could, but we just don't know. There's a lot of variables going into that pit stop for these guys. The majority of these guys have yet to come down the pit lane, and those guys who came down under the caution are going to have to come down again.
That's pretty interesting thing to look out for with Brock Nelson, and see how because by the end of the race, the tire wear is going to be really bad on the 51 car. So we'll see if he'll be able to keep pace with them once we get to that point, as we're approaching halfway here at Martinsville.
Yeah, almost to the halfway point. Here's Christopher Alphabet in the number 6, who is still 41st in points. Will Parrish has the same amount of points as Christopher Alphabet does. Alphabet's been in every race this season. Of course, Will Parrish has only been in the past 2 races, but the way this race is looking, it's looking like Will Parrish will surpass him in the points if they finish in their current order. Sam Medio's gotten around Thomas Troxel, but Troxel is going to get back to the inside of Sam Medio. And if that is going to stay the same, which it's not, Troxel does not have enough power to get around that 48 machine. Sam Medio is going to remain in the race lead, but now Jordan Lopez right behind this 53. And what does he do? Does he pawn him again?
Boy. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he might actually have a little bit easier time getting around Troxel this time. Troxel is definitely at least a little bit off the pace with that right side damage, but Lopez, I thought he would have already gotten around that 53. He's having a little more trouble than I thought he would. Yeah, Troxel's not making it easy. You sort of see him turn right down to the inside going into
I wouldn't
3.
blame him either.
Lopez has got his hands full. No, not at all.
We are officially halfway. Lopez wide, trying to find something that may open the door for Durrani to take second. When that happens, though, it's so hard to get a run with those worn tires on that inside. You don't get a good drive off. And I'll say this: the decel modifier on this track is a 4. That's why they can dive right into the track. And if you know anything about NR, that is an extremely high number. But the acceleration modifier is only like 0.3 or 0.5 or something like that. So they do not accelerate near as well as they decelerate. Sam Medio pulling about a second now on Jordan Lopez. And I don't know when you want to come down the pit lane. You may want to be one of the guys who comes down a little bit later in the run, because if you come down early, there's a lot of guys still on the racetrack who have yet to come down, and they could actually affect how fast you are on the first couple laps you're done with your pit stop. So, going to be interesting to see how the strategy goes, but we're closing in on this window here. It's lap 55 right now. We expect this cycle to begin around lap 62, lap 65 here at Martinsville. So about 10 laps from now, we'll start seeing our leaders coming down the pit lane.
I think the right strategy call in this instance is usually you would like to try the undercut at a lot of tracks, because that could gain you a lot of spots early, and especially at tracks where track position is important. But here I think you should just pit with the herd, because if you and only a couple other guys are pitting, that's a lot more guys out on the track, and they could get in your way when merging back onto the field. Speaking of getting in the way, Thomas Troxel has been getting in the way of Jordan Lopez. He is really holding him up. Lopez trying to peek to the inside, but Troxel's not going to let him get by. I'm sure he's thinking about what Lopez did to him earlier in the race.
Lopez might do it again.
He almost did.
And Lopez is losing time to Sam Medio, but at the same time, I think you got to think about this cycle coming up here soon. Obviously, at this point, these guys are not getting runs on each other, and it's definitely getting a little bit harder. I will say Alphabet, I think Alphabet is starting to close through the field a little bit. And of all the guys who have come down and made a stop who are multiple laps down, he is one of the first guys. I think Nathan Baird's down the pit lane, number 54. So he's a little bit early right here. Lap 59. He's really trying the undercut here for Velocity Racing. And now Lopez has, all we got to do is just not focus on it and they get around him. That's what happened when Sam Medio first got around Troxel. Now you got Lopez and Durrani getting around the 53 machine. Nathan Baird's not going to go a few laps down, but he's good to go now. He's already made his stop. We're going to have to see. He should be able to get around Will Parrish here. He's got some fresh tires in that 54 machine, but having a little bit of trouble getting going there in that 54.
I think he might have actually gotten down on the curb there and turned through. Well, I don't know. He's having trouble with Young there as he gets on the outside. Yeah, Young's going to have a bit.
There might be an issue on
Baird's got a problem.
This 54 is not rolling fast at all. There may be a bigger issue than just coming down early for strategy. They may have had to come down, and everyone's getting around this 54 right now. Not a good day at all for Bartow Tuck Team Velocitar. It's taken them a little bit more time to figure this season out. So you got a battle right here. Alonso to the inside of Logan Williams for 10th. Alonso just gained 2 positions right there in the 39 machine. Brandon Nelson has gotten around Thomas Troxel, and I believe Durrani has fallen off to about the 5th position. Did not catch that. Brandon Nelson's now up to 3rd in the number 8 team. Wondering if Troxel may have gotten back to the inside of Durrani and shot him to the outside wall, because there's some damage on that 68 machine.
That's definitely possible. A lot of damage on Durrani, and he was going to be in 3rd place, but he ends up losing a couple spots to Brandon Nelson and Nathan Stapleton. But watch these guys. These guys should start pitting here soon. We are at lap 64. We are in the pit window, so we should expect to see some of these guys coming in here soon.
We definitely should, and here we go. Nicholas Samadillo and Jordan Lopez, top 2 guys coming down. Brandon Nelson's going to stay out. He's going to lead a lap. Stapleton down. Durrani down. A lot of guys coming down on this first cycle. So Brandon Nelson's going to lead a lap right there. Andrew Miller stays out. Will Parrish, Ben Young, Kukalon, Alonso stays out. Have to see if this guy's gain any advantage. Keep in mind, Fisher G has made a stop. He can go about 15 laps longer than the field, so watch out for Fisher here in the number 7. He may have an advantage. Rest of these guys, or some of them coming down at least, not all of them. Brandon Nelson's still out there in the number 18 machine trying to lap these race leaders and hope for a caution, put them a lap down, and their chances of the race win. It's very possible something like that could happen. Very treacherous racetrack. Samadillo will get out ahead of Jordan Lopez. They got to be careful merging back onto the racetrack here. Uh-oh. Fitzy got him to Lopez just a little bit. No major contact, no damage, but that's going to slow up the 28. And we mentioned Brock Nelson, number 51. Remember what he did? Well, look at how close he is to Samadillo here. Durrani getting off ahead right there in the number 68. He is going to file in. He actually may be a lap down. I think Durrani may be a lap down because they had to repair damage on that car. He came down the same time as Samadillo. Here comes Brock Nelson in the 51. He's got warm tires, I should say. Not worn tires, but warm tires. He may actually be a threat to Samadillo here for this race lead.
Well, he's got to worry about Nathan Smith, though, in that 67. And, well, I don't know. Maybe it'll be help to him as Smith gets to the inside of Samadillo. Samadillo's going to stretch away. Oh, my goodness. 22 and 83 getting together there in the middle of the corner. And look out here for these guys coming off of the pit road. Fisher G up front leading this thing. We'll see what the margin looks like when they come around this time. Right now, though, it says he has a 5.76. I don't know how accurate that is.
So Fisher G is officially the race leader ahead of Gatlin Downey. These are guys who came down the pit lane under the caution. So it's Fisher G, Gatlin Downey, Patrick Smith, Shane Lake, LJ Semedo is still out there, Joe Rakowski, and Thomas Troxel. Then Samadillo, Brandon Nelson. Brock Nelson is officially a lap down behind Samadillo, so that strategy I do not believe worked out for Brock Nelson, I should say. So my apologies. We thought he might be on the same strategy there as Samadillo. Durrani also lap down. So in terms of Samadillo, he's got a considerable gap on Jordan Lopez. So what Samadillo is hoping for is that there isn't another caution in this race. Those guys who came down under the first caution have to come down in pit, and Samadillo scoots away with this thing. But right now, Samadillo's a lap down. And for Fisher G and these guys who are currently on the lead lap, the 7 guys who are currently on the lead lap, they want the caution to come out. And especially Fisher G, because they've already lapped the field. Those 7 guys would be the ones battling for the race win. But they cannot make it to the end without coming back down again. They came down to lap 15. That's about 85 laps to go. Fuel window about 65 here. So we're going to have to see how it all goes down. But if this thing stays green, Nicholas Samadillo is out of here in the 48. He's got a considerable gap on what will eventually be second place Jordan Lopez once these 7 guys come down the pit lane. But Fisher G is still your race leader with 25 laps to go here in this STP Old Dominion 500. Looking to go back-to-back here at the paperclip.
Yep, he's looking to back-to-back at this track as we are in the final run of the race. These 7 guys, they're really going to be hoping for that caution. That would be the best thing to happen to them. And I think Jordan Lopez lost so much time to Nicholas Samadillo because of the contact he and Zachary Fitzwater made on the back straightaway. If you remember, while Lopez was coming out and Fitzy was coming in, I think that really cost him.
Yeah, it definitely did. Brandon Nelson is third off of those guys. Will Parrish is fourth. Andrew Miller, fifth. Kukalon, Eli Bright up there. And then Ben Crouch as well. Logan Williams, Nathan Stapleton fell back a little bit. Jesse Turner in the 77 may get a top 10 out of all this in that Otter Island Motorsports machine. He started kind of deep in the field for this race. Could be interesting for him. Fisher G still out there. Gatlin Downey still second. But they both have to come back down again in this race. Sam Medea a little wide there. And it's, you know, if one of these guys gets to the inside of Sam Medea, which it could be Nathan Smith, he just got back to the inside of Brock Nelson. There are a couple guys who are 2 laps down at this point. Nathan Baird is back down again. There's some issue on that 54 machine, no doubt about it. Such a tough break for Nathan Baird. That whole team has had a rough night, no doubt about it.
Yeah, you knew there was definitely something more wrong with that 54 when he came out and just was not up to speed at all, and everyone having to go around the outside to get around him, and I guess he finally decided to come down the pit road, and that is definitely going to put him out of contention permanently, as we are now 19 laps to go this time by here at Martinsville. Fisher G leading, but the gap staying pretty much the same from first to second between him and Gatlin Downey. Of course, you got to remember all the traffic that's in between them, so it's significantly harder to close in, and that's even before you mention worn out stuff as they're coming down the pit road now. Looks like
Troxel's already down. Downey's going to come down right here, and they're going to end up finishing multiple laps down. They were hoping for a lot more cautions in this race. I think that was the only way their strategy was ever going to work, is if they got enough cautions but they didn't have to come back down again. But now Nicholas Samadia, who won the truck race here back in October, if it stays green just a little bit longer, this thing is essentially in the bag for Mr. Edge. Patrick Smith also coming down. LJ Semedo as well. Shane Lake, another one of those guys. And Joe Rutkowski. And right there, pass for the lead's going to be made. Fisher G going to go a lap down along with Thomas Troxel. And your new race leader, it's going back to Nicholas Samadio in the 48. Who's had a really tough season for Zidell Motorsports this year. It has not been a good season for Mr. Edge. I think he comes in 30th in the points. But this would definitely be a very welcome race victory for Nicholas Samadio. Like I said, we just announced this being the final season of the series. Samadio has been part of this series for all but 2 seasons. Won his first official start and the greatest finish ever of this series. You all know. That's where he got his nickname. And Shane Lake, last guy to come in. Uh-oh! Caution just came out!
Oh, man.
So Nicholas Samadio has yet to win this race. Looks like someone went around in turn number 3. I think it's going to cycle through completely, though. And Samadio will officially be your race leader. However, Shane Lake is... I don't know where Shane Lake is. There's Shane Lake. I don't know. I think he's on the tail end of the lead lap.
That's a good break for Shane Lake. He gets to stay on the lead lap.
Late race restart. Now the thing here, Samadio is going to have multiple guys in between him and second place Jordan Lopez. Multiple guys. That's how much of an advantage. He had a 7-second lead on Lopez. That would have by far been the largest margin of victory this season if he had kept that, if the caution did not come out. A lot of these guys did get caught on the other side of things here, and they're going to get the wave around. So they're still figuring it out. With it being a short track, it's a little bit tough sometimes, but there are going to be multiple guys in between Samadio and Lopez. So essentially, it's going to take one of these lap down cars trying to get one of their laps back to take out Samadio to have an opportunity, for Jordan Lopez to have an opportunity at beating Samadio. However, Brandon Nelson will perish right behind him there. This could get interesting. Not entirely sure what happened. I did see some tire marks there in turn number 3, and thankfully, it all cycled through. It looks like Fisher G's actually in the 8th position. Which, granted, you know, he was still in the lead lap once that cycle began. So Fisher G may actually benefit a little bit from this one. He's got slightly fresher tires, but I don't think he's going to have near enough time to get past all these guys ahead of him. So it didn't actually harm Fisher G too much in the number 7 machine. But his teammate's in one of the best positions I've ever seen coming to a restart with all those guys. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 6 guys in between him and Jordan Lopez. That's going to take a lot for Lopez to get to San Mateo and win this race. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the second caution of the night here in the STP Old Dominion 500. It's going to be under 10 laps to go when we restart with Nicholas San Mateo leading here at Martinsville. And I will like to put a disclaimer. We do the replays after we record the race. So throughout the rest of this race, we don't mention this because we didn't know what happened. Will Parrish in the 21 got set in the turn number 3 by Brett Sierra. Brett Sierra a lap down. Now, Sierra and Parrish really didn't accumulate too much. They just slid up, and I don't even think that's why the caution came out. Behind them, Andrew Miller. I don't know if Andrew Miller got sent by Kukulon, but Miller got sent, and so I was on the racetrack enough to trigger the yellow. Not a major incident, but that's going to give a little bit of an opportunity. It looks like Fisher G's going to sideswipe his teammate right there. You could get a little bit of damage here at Martinsville, not be the end of the world. I don't think Miller's going to, lose too much because of that, but he's going to lose a couple of positions, but not the end of the world for Miller. This may help out his teammate. I mean, it really doesn't matter for his teammate either way. I mean, San Mateo's got, 6 guys in between him and Jordan Lopez. For the most part, this should be an easy one for San Mateo to possibly take this race victory here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Down the back straightaway, Will Parrish, Brett Sierra get into it in turn 3. Sierra gets into the wall, and then there goes Andrew Miller as well, and G just barely gets out with minimal damage. Oh, and then he made a bit of contact with Nathan Stapleton there at the end, but tough break for Andrew Miller. Will Parrish should be okay. Brett Sierra was already lapped down. We'll get you back with the restart here as Nicholas San Mateo with a pretty good lead here. Should have this one pretty much sealed, but, crazy things can happen here at Martinsville.
Absolutely. Nicholas San Mateo, though, only unless something drastic happens, is probably going to win this race. I mean, he's got 6 guys in between him and Lopez. He's got to be careful of Nathan Smith, though, on this restart. It's only 10 laps to go. It's not over yet. Like Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over, but looking good for San Mateo here at the Paperclip. Let's get to the restart here in the STP Old Dominion 500 with 10 to go at Martinsville. We are back. It's going to be exactly 10 laps to go to finish this race out here on this Friday night. It's been a good one here from Martinsville, no doubt about it. And Nicholas San Mateo, your race leader in the number 48, winner of the closest margin of victory in NOFSRL Cup Series history, 0.000 in the Season 2 Daytona 500. His first ever start, his first ever win. Looking for another one here tonight. He's the race leader, Jordan Lopez, with 6 lap cars ahead of him to reach San Mateo in second. Brandon Nelson, Will Parrish, and Sebastian Kukulon, the top 5. It's going to take a lot for Lopez to win this race, but it's not over yet. San Mateo, with 10 to go, takes the green flag.
Oh, and yeah, the 67 did not get to the inside of San Mateo. He's going to have a big gap coming off of that second quarter. Lopez sliding wide in behind Tristan Allen. Allen's going to come down onto the pit road. And, boy, that's one less car in between the 48 and 28, but that is a lot of ground that Lopez just lost, even sliding sideways. And goodness gracious, what chaos is going on behind.
Yeah, San Mateo, he's got a clean track ahead of him. This is looking pretty good. A few guys in the back of the field coming down. Brad Stover, Matt Dalio. Not entirely sure what the issue is. It's one thing about this place. You'll get these guys in the back of the field to come down right after a restart. Not entirely sure what the deal is with all that. Lopez is going to try, though, as Will Parrish has just gone to third on Brandon Nelson. If Parrish is in position to get his 3rd straight top 10 as a hot seat driver. Unreal what he's been able to do. And he's going to be in the hot seat again if he qualifies his way in next week at Richmond. That would be something else. And the caution is back out in a big wreck.
Oh, big one.
Oh, my.
Patrick Smith, Owen Miles, and San Mateo's going to run right in to Patrick Smith. They were racing back to the line, and San Mateo ran right into him.
Oh my
You have got to be kidding me.
I cannot believe I just saw that.
No.
Wow. That is unbelievable.
Jordan Lopez is in the lead now.
He's
And
gotten
did
a
he
bit
just
of
get
damage
spun
as
around?
Well, I mean,
Rock Nelson.
Nelson.
Look at Nelson's front.
San Mateo's not going to be able to continue with that.
Smoke's pouring out
Wow.
of that thing. He's definitely
In
done.
the pits. Yeah, he's done.
So Jordan Lopez in the position now to take this race victory after all. That is such a heartbreaker for Sam Adio, who was on the verge of getting, I think, his 6th career win in this series. And that is all on him. That is 100% his fault. He just drove right in the Patrick Smith there. But now I'm concerned about Lopez because he got rear-ended by someone. And I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to this race lead ahead of Will Parrish. But now we got ourselves a battle for this win. He's going to fall right into Lopez's favor here. Absolutely unbelievable what just happened to Sam Adio right there. And you can't blame anyone else but him, though. You really can't.
Not so sure that didn't have to do with some of those guys coming off the pit road, the ones that came down right off the restart that came up into him.
There's a good chance that could have been it. I'm going to stick with you until the restart here, and then we will review what happened to Sam Adio, but actually, we'll go ahead and see what happened here. We'll go ahead and see what happened. Nicholas Samadio running right into those guys. A big wreck in turn number 3, and Samadio just arc-a-braked right into him. Such an that's just so unlike Samadio to do something like that. But now Jordan Lopez in position to possibly get his first career win, but Will Parrish, the uncharted driver, right behind him, looking to do the same. Don't count out Brandon Nelson, who finished 2nd last time out. First, let's see what happened, and we'll get to the restart here in the STP Old Dominion 500 in Martinsville. Well, we had these guys coming off the pit lane, and Tristan Allen does not do a good job merging back on right into Patrick Smith and Trey Smith. Patrick Smith gets into him, shoots up in the Trey Smith. They shuffle around, and everybody's racing back to the line, so if you want to know why they got rid of that rule, it's things like this. Cody Sill and the Shane Lake. And then Hamill teammates, Owen Miles, Ace Garcia, and just like the last race, all 3 of the Hamill guys getting caught up in an accident together. That doesn't happen every day. Dahlia rear-ended Stover. This is the big one, though. Patrick Smith in the 16, he got a lot of damage from it. He was done. And you're going to see Sam Adio is coming in here in that number 48 machine. And we'll play it in here in real time. And you're going to see this here. I don't know what Sam Adio's thinking. He's got to slow down. But not only that, Patrick Smith teleported literally a second later, and if Sam Adio slowed down enough, he would not have even had to contend with Patrick Smith there. But instead, Sam Adio's going to be out of the race after dominating. He led over half of this race. He was going to go to victory lane. But now, it's opened the door for Jordan Lopez, Will Parrish, Brandon Nelson to possibly have a shot at their first career win in this series. Unbelievable. Such a uncommon mistake out of Sam Adio there. But it's going to cost him the race win here at the paperclip.
So here's Tristan coming off of the pit road. Patrick Smith up into Trey Smith, and around they go on the back straightaway. Shane Lake and a whole bunch of others get caught up in it. Brad Stover, the Hamill boys, and then coming in behind, Mr. Edge couldn't find the way by and slams into Patrick Smith just at the most inopportune time I've ever seen, just before Patrick Smith gets back onto the pit road. I don't even know what to say. I just feel so bad for Sam Adio, having dominated this race. Looked like he was going to have it in the bag, but unfortunately he's going to be headed to the garage just a handful of laps early here at Martinsville.
Yeah, a couple other guys ended up stopping on the... we had more go on there. I think Brock Nelson may have ran in the Jordan Lopez. Let's see what happened there on the cooldown lap. And
So
this
he
is
did
the race
get him.
leader. Jordan
Oh my.
Lopez, they're stacking up kind of behind there. I don't know why McMillan stopped because of his damage. Rutkowski, oh man.
Brock,
Brock
what
Nelson
are you doing?
rear-ended Jordan Lopez, but Lopez is still the race leader, and he's only going to have 1 lap to hold off Will Parrish. But that damage may keep him from winning this race. And if that happens, Jordan Lopez isn't going to be happy with Brock Nelson. Troxel isn't going to be happy with Lopez. Lopez isn't going to be happy with Brock Nelson. Will Parrish is going to be happy with everyone if he wins this race. So will Derek Hamill. Boy, I don't know. It's going to be 1 lap to go, so we really can't have another caution in this race. Jordan Lopez, your race leader. Will he get his first career Cup Series win, or will it be Will Parrish or Brandon Nelson? We'll have to find out right now here in the STP Old Dominion 500. Well, a massive turn of events. Turn this race over on its head. It's going to give us a one-lap dash to the finish. And Jordan Lopez, who started on the pole for this race, been all over the place in terms of his chances of winning this race. He is going to lead this restart, but Will Parrish, no damage on the 21. Brandon Nelson, a rookie, full-time in this series, looking for his first ever win. Top 3 have never won before in this series. I think we're going to get a first-time winner in this series here tonight. Nicholas Amadio out of the race in the 48. He will officially finish in 37th after all he did here tonight. Such a heartbreak for the Zedell Motorsports driver. Look at that jump on the restart by Lopez. He was not letting Parrish get away with him. And Parrish going wide. Might open the door for Nelson to take second. And after all, Jordan Lopez may just get this win. One last chance here for Parrish. It will not be enough. His first career NOFSRL Cup Series win, American Motorsports, and Jordan Lopez wins the STP Old Dominion 500 from the pole here at the Martinsville Speedway.
And that's about as chaotic as you could do it.
It fell right into his lap. He was a guy who was up front this entire race. It fell into his lap, though, after Sam Adio with a rookie mistake. Wow. You gotta feel for Sam Adio in that one, but you also gotta feel good for Jordan Lopez. This guy has been racing on my channel since 2016, won in his first career. Napa fan started the Thanksgiving 500 2016. And like I mentioned, he ran in Season 6 of the series, has not run in the series since that season. Finally got his first career win in the NOFSRL Cup Series. There are the official standings. We're going to export it out right now because we had some issues with that last night, now didn't we? Let's put it this way, that first recording was worse than this one. You thought Sam Adio running in was bad. Oh, you didn't see last night, but we're not going to talk about that anymore. We're going to talk about how Jordan Lopez has won his first career NOFSRL Cup Series race, and doing it in the final season as well. Will Parrish, Brandon Nelson, Sebastian Kukulon, Jesse Turner with a top 5 finish here tonight. I don't know where he came from. Ben Crouch in 6th, Fisher G, Logan Williams, Nathan Stapleton, Andrew Miller, the top 10. The biggest story, no doubt about it, Nicholas Amadio, but that was all on him when he ran into Patrick Smith there. Big accident there. As you saw, those guys coming on the pit lane and off the pit lane. Boy, that race became a mess right there at the end, but that's just the way Martinsville is. It's a crazy place now, isn't it? Final thoughts on this race, guys. Jordan Lopez gets it done from the pole, but he didn't dominate this race at all, winning from the pole in the most unconventional way possible.
Yeah, that's for sure. That was a very interesting Martinsville race for sure. A lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of good racing, especially in the first half. In the end, Jordan Lopez, he had to get lucky, but he did have a fast car all day, and he ended up in victory lane because of it.
You know, I don't even know where to begin with this, because I thought for sure Sam Adio had this thing in the bag, and then that happens. I'm like, oh my goodness. But Lopez, he capitalized on the opportunity and has won when it really mattered, led the final lap. It's the one that matters in the end, and he's taking that big trophy home to American Motorsports. And Trinity River Racing, we're taking the points lead here out of Martinsville. Keegan Thompson with a 12th place finish there. Good job for him.
You guys are really sneaky in that number 82 machine, I'll tell you that much. You're probably going to get a win at some point this season. Kukulon's going to move in the points a little bit as well. Guys like Nelson Reeves and Tristan Allen, they did not have good runs in this race. Neither did Sameto. They all finished deep in the field. But Kukulon and Thompson, the other two guys top 5 in points, both finished inside the top 12. So those guys are going to be really strong throughout this season. And thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you guys as well, for all the support after I announced this will be the last season. like I said, I know it's kind of a bad day to do it on April Fool's Day. I understand that, but like I said, kind of a big moment because that was 6 years to the day of the first race in this series. And, you know, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, you know, with this being the last season. And yes, it is the last season, but, you know, I'm not going to try to make it all over dramatic, you know. There's no need to do that. We're going to roll right with it. And something, too, you know, and I think I mentioned in the Discord as well, you know, it doesn't mean I'm completely done with NR. I'm still going to be doing a couple races here and there as well, so, you know, I'll be involved with everything. I'll still be around. It's just, like I said, it's a little bit tough to do a race every week, and, you know, with me graduating from college this year and all that stuff, is a lot to look forward to in life, but you guys will still be part of my life, and you always will be, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. But hey, Jordan Lopez gets it done here at Martinsville in the STP Old Dominion 500. Next week, we head to Richmond for the Norfolk Southern 400. First time we've been there since 2019. Last time we were there, the guy who won, Justin Roberts, led every single lap. Hopefully we don't see that again next week. Should be a fun one. I think it should be a day race, so it should be a Saturday at noon for that one. Turkey Hill National Series is going to be at night, though, so we're going to have a night race and a day race next weekend from Richmond. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Here are the points in the NOFSRL Cup Series after 8 races. And a huge thanks to Josh Williamson and Brendan Wilmington for helping me call this race here tonight from Martinsville. Have a great weekend. We will see you guys next weekend from Richmond in the NOFSRL Cup Series. I will see you guys later.